What's going on, everyone? We are going to go ahead and do another episode of Learn English with the News. So, we're just going to go ahead and take a look at a couple quick headlines today and look at some of the expressions and phrasal verbs. So, starting with this first headline here, we have Attorney General Bill Barr rails against bogus Russia probe. Violent rioters in testimony before Congress. So this one here, I want to focus on this word rails, right? So rails can kind of confuse you because it has multiple meanings. A rail or the rails is what a train is riding on, right? So trains are riding on rails. We call them railroads, right? So a railroad train. So that's what rails usually means, right? It's a noun. But here it's actually being used as a verb. So railing against something is like criticizing in a kind of aggressive tone, right? So I'm railing against the way that these people are treated. I railed against my rights being violated. It's kind of like going on a rant or being very, very kind of dramatic or uh, angry about something. And then this word bogus is kind of a fun word, good vocabulary word to have. Bogus just means that something is not credible or you don't believe it, right? So I could say, oh man, these new rules are bogus, right? If I'm at work and they put in new policies and I don't like them, I could say, oh, this is bogus. So it could be something you don't like, or it could be something that's fictional, right? So if somebody accuses me of always coming to work late, I can say, oh, that's bogus, man. I don't believe that. All right, now looking at the next one here. So this one actually didn't really see any idioms here that were all that interesting. Another one here, Fauci warns Tennessee and others to stem coronavirus trends, saying we just can't afford another surge. So this one here is good because stem is also one of those words that is a noun. As a noun, it's referring to the base of like a plant. We call that the stem, the little base of a plant. Um, and then we just can't afford another surge. Sorry. So to explain that better, in this case, it's a verb, right? To stem something. So if you think about it, the base of a plant is where the plant begins, right? It's the stem of the plant or the stem of a tree. It's the lowest part of it. So when you want to stem something, you want to keep it low. To stem something is to basically cut it off at the stem, at the base. So that's where we get this verb to stem something. So if you know the noun, you can visualize what the verb means. It's very useful, right? So stemming coronavirus trends, saying we just can't afford another surge. We can't afford this, right? So afford is a verb that usually talks about money, right? I can't afford milk this week, or I can't afford my rent. It's way too expensive. But we can also use it in terms of costs to society, costs in general. Like I can't afford to not get this job that I applied for. I can't afford to miss out on this opportunity. I can't risk it, or I can't mess this up. I can't make a mistake. I can't afford to make an error here on this test, because if I do, then I will fail it. So not being able to afford something is mainly talking about, not being able to pay for something, not having the money to pay for something, but it's also used commonly to talk about not being able to make it work out, right? There's high stakes, or the risk is too high. If you screw up, then it won't work out for you. It won't be a situation that ends well. All right. Let's see here. Looking at some more expressions. Okay, here's a pretty good one. Involves the phrasal verb to watch out for something. Bezos, Zuckerberg, Cook, and Pichai prepare for their big day before Congress. Here's what to watch out for. So to watch out for something or to look out for something, this way is kind of like to be alert for, or things to kind of pay attention to. And we could also say this as a way to warn somebody, right? So you could say, watch out for alligators when you're playing around in that lake over there. Watch out for alligators, or look out for alligators. It's like be aware, be attentive, and be cautious, right? So look out for or watch out for. And in this case, it's not really trying to warn you about anything. It's more just this is what to be paying attention to. So here's what to watch out for. Here's another good one. All right, Emmy nominations 2020. See if your favorite shows made the cut. So this is a good phrase that we use that talks about competition and people succeeding and people failing. So to make the cut refers to being successful and making, in this case, being one of the Emmy nominations. These people made the cut, or these shows made the cut, because they're cutting off, the bad shows and the good shows, the ones who made the nomination and the ones who didn't. And so when you make the cut, you're on the positive side of the cut. You have become the chosen person or nominated or whatever it is. So we use this a lot in sports as well. We have a phrase where we say, you can't cut it, which means you don't have what it takes to be successful, right? Coach might say that to a player that the coach is not impressed with. You can't cut it. You're not tough enough, But we also have tryouts for sports, right? When you go and you audition, you show what you have to, you show your talents basically, and you are trying to make it on the team, right? So we call it making the cut, right? So they have tryouts, and the people who do not make the team do not make the cut, right? So they pick people out and say, sorry, you didn't make the cut. It means we're cutting things off, and you are not on the winning side of that cut. You didn't make the cut. You got cut, basically. So we'll say that too. I got cut from the team. It means they kicked you off the team because you weren't good enough. So that's a really useful phrase, very good in competition when talking about sports, to make the cut. All right, those are our expressions and phrases for the day. I hope you learned a couple of new good ones and that you are feeling confident to go out and use them. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Keep studying and keep learning.